Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially day number 32 of the ongoing government shutdown, and we just got a report indicating exactly when this shutdown is going to come to an end and how exactly the Democrats are going to try to weasel their way out of it. Now, of course, as all of you know, this shutdown has been entirely manufactured by Chuck Schumer and the Democrats in an effort to undermine President Trump's America First agenda. However, unfortunately for them, their entire plan has completely backfired because as things currently stand, right around 67% of Americans nationwide actually blame the Democrats for the shutdown and want them to put an end to it immediately. And so this is why it seems as if Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are currently looking for a way out. Take a look.
So now what the Democrats are literally telling us this, they plan on open it back up probably Wednesday or Thursday after the election, after they elect a communist in New York to be the mayor, after the New Jersey's gubernatorial race, after Virginia's governor's race. They're going to come out. They're going to look for an exit ramp because they know they're losing. Shoot, even CNN's polls are showing that this isn't good for them. The American people have already been exposed to, Congresswoman Clark by saying that this is a leverage point for them. You had Chuck Schumer say every day is getting better for them. You had Senator Coons from Delaware goes out and says it's uncomfortable, but it's a leverage point. And even Bernie Sanders goes out and says they can't open it back up because they lose leverage. But they also know they need an exit ramp. So after the election, Kellyanne, they're going to come out, and at that point, they're going to go out there and rail that they're going to take the high road. They're going to try spinning it on President Trump and the Republicans. And after they get done talking their way out of, themselves, they're going to eventually open it up probably Thursday, I'd say midday.
And so, folks, as it would seem, that is currently the Democrats' plan. They thought that they would be able to shut down the government and hold the nation hostage in an effort to undermine President Trump, just like they did in December of 2018, if you all remember, and not have it reflect negatively on their national approval ratings. That being said, things are very clearly different this time around. We, the American people, aren't asleep at the wheel anymore. We're all wide awake, and we know exactly what type of games the Democrats are playing, and we are not going to go along with it this time. We all know that the Democrats are actively trying to extort $1.5 trillion out of all of us hardworking federal taxpayers in order to pay for the healthcare costs of a bunch of illegal aliens that shouldn't even be here in the first place, and guess what? We're not going to tolerate it. But you know what? Yesterday afternoon, none other than Elon Musk actually made an appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast to talk about this very issue. Take a look.
The reason you have the standoff is because if the hundreds of billions of dollars to create a financial incentive to have this giant magnet to attract illegals from every part of Earth to these states, if that is turned off, the illegals will leave because they're no longer being paid to come to the United States and stay here.
Wow.
And then they will lose a lot of voters. The Democratic Party will lose a lot of voters.
And they would have a very difficult job if this is kicked out of reintroducing it into a new bill.
Yes.
Especially once things start normalizing.
Yes. So, in a nutshell, the Democratic Party wants to destroy democracy by importing voters, and the Republican Party disagrees with that.
And the ruse is that if you don't accept what they're doing, then you're a threat to democracy.
Yes.
As they try to destroy democracy.
Yes.
By importing voters.
That is literally what they're doing.
And incentivizing people to only vote for them and overwhelming the system.
Yes. And by the way, it's a strategy that, if allowed to work, would work. And in fact, has worked. California is supermajority Democrat.
Yeah.
And there's so much gerrymandering that occurs. It's crazy.
And of course, Elon Musk is correct about all of that. It is absolutely crazy. Folks, as a quick little historical reminder here, both Aristotle and Plato, 2,400 years ago, determined that you cannot have a functioning democracy, let alone a functioning republic, unless everyone in your society has a shared sense of culture, identity, and national investment. That is to say, if you've got hundreds or even thousands of different ethnic or cultural groups inside of your society isn't going to last very long. And the reason why is because all of those different groups are going to constantly be at odds with one another, and before you know it, the entire system is going to collapse in on itself. So pretty much, diversity is not only not our strength, really, it's one of our biggest weaknesses. And this reality has been well known for over 2,000 years, and it was most certainly known to our founding fathers when they built this country in the first place 250 years ago. And so back to Elon Musk's point about the Democrats actively trying to destroy the American Republic, he's absolutely right. The Democrats know that if they want to destroy our country, and they do, perhaps the single best way to do so is to import tens of millions of incompatible immigrants from the third world, which is exactly what they're hellbent on doing. Now, Elon Musk actually went on to better explain this entire situation, but before we take a look at that, I do want to say real quick that if you folks enjoy the daily news updates, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a lot. But okay. Check this out.
The Democrats mention the medical care because they're trying to prey on people's empathy as much as possible, and then they imagine, oh wow, somebody has a desperately needed medical procedure, and shouldn't we maybe take care of them in that regard? But what they do is they divert the Medicaid funds and turn it into a slush fund for the states that goes well beyond emergency medical care. And New York and California would be bankrupt without the massive fraudulent federal payments that go to those states to pay for illegals, to create a massive financial incentive for illegals.
How would they be bankrupt because of that?
They wouldn't be able to balance their state budgets, and they can't issue currency like the Federal Reserve can.
So folks, what do you say we really break all of that down? Not only are the Democrats actively trying to replace all of us legitimate Americans with tens of millions of third world immigrants, but they're also running a racket, ultimately scamming hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe even trillions of dollars, out of the federal government at the same time. Really, when you stop and think about it, pretty much the Democrats are trying to run an exit scam on the United States of America. Scam the federal government, and really that's all of us federal taxpayers, make as much money as they can in the process, and then burn down the entire country to make sure that there's no one left to hold all of them accountable. Folks, if all of us hadn't elected President Trump in the 2024 election, that's the exact position that all of us and the United States of America would be in right this very moment. Even the most conservative estimates suggest that 25 million illegal aliens came flooding into this country during the very short 4-year-long Biden era. And keep in mind, he was just getting going. Imagine if Biden or, God forbid, Kamala Harris were in the White House right this very moment. The southern border would still be open right this very moment, and there would be well over 10,000 illegal aliens flooding into this country every single day. And so, as things seem right now, because well over 2/3 of Americans nationwide are correctly blaming the Democrats for this ongoing government shutdown, their plan is to officially bring this shutdown to an end after this upcoming week's elections. But still, the question remains, why did they even manufacture this entire shutdown in the first place? Well, I think at this point, we all know the answer to that question. It's because, in every single sense of the word, the Democrats absolutely hate the United States of America, but even worse, they hate all of us, actual Americans.